Excuse me. Your curtain. Please allow me to help.
Help? From you?
I didn't mean to offend. I just thought you should know that you're—
That I should know what? That some privileged white guy thinks his opinion matters? Get over your entitlement. I'm not some damsel in distress waiting for you to ride in on your high horse.
Oh my God.
It's the most emotional experience that a person can go through to know that what they're working on is something that has reached a generation of people.
When Disney's Snow White remake ignited a firestorm of controversy, The Simpsons didn't just join the conversation, they torched it. The episode Snowwoke, the reimagining, took a sledgehammer to the film's perceived virtue signaling and corporate pandering.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business. Thanks.
You know, I don't need your business. You know what? Maybe Disney does. Maybe you're a tool, you're a pawn in this film. You didn't write it. You didn't direct it. You have nothing to do with the creation of Snow White.
Right.
You should shut up and do the job.
Turning Springfield into ground zero for one of pop culture's most brutal takedowns. To understand just how savage and significant this parody was, we have to look at what led to the blowtorch. Rachel Zegler, already under fire for her role, lashed out on social media after the episode aired, only making things worse.
Weird.
I would highly advise that you boycott this film, no matter how much your children love Snow White.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
They're remaking the movie. They just got rid of the dwarfs, okay?
Okay, but what do they call
This is no ordinary apple, my dear. It's a magic wishing apple. A wishing apple? You offer it to me freely. In place of the patriarchy, you would have a queen! Not white, but diverse, inclusive, and equitable! I will become the leader I know I can be! All shall love me and despair!
Oh, what has she done to you? Fear not. First love's kiss can break any curse.
Her meltdown turned a sharp parody into a full-blown cultural flashpoint. Be sure to stick around until the end because this one is wild.
I stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess. I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed on.
Oh, really? Are you having trouble paying your bills, Rachel? Did Steven Spielberg not pay you for your role in West Side Story? Did Disney fail to give you a healthy paycheck for, like, Cry Me a River? She's just exactly everything that we can't stand.
Why would they get rid of the
call
dwarves, though? Magical creatures.
But they have one token dwarf amongst these magical creatures. You actually just went backwards. You actually just erased the dwarfism side of it. The disability, like we're a disability group, you just erased that whole image. The argument should have been from Peter Dinklage, there's power of being on TV, there's power of television, and to put 7 people with dwarfism on camera in a major Disney movie, there's still power there. If the story is offensive, change the story, don't change the characters.
The Snow White controversy began well before the film's release, sparked by lead actress Rachel Zegler's interviews. Her comments calling the prince a stalker and the original story weird and outdated didn't sit well with fans.
I can also be having the greatest time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me death threats.
There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion. But the reality is she's just not stable, like the majority of people in Hollywood. They're just not stable human beings.
I know this point has been made, but this truly is the worst casting maybe in the history of the film industry.
Many saw it as a dismissive take on a beloved classic, fueling widespread backlash across social media. While some praised her modern perspective, the overwhelming response was anger and disappointment, accusing Zegler of disrespecting the original and alienating Disney's core audience. The controversy set a negative tone that haunted the film from the start.
What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it.
You can get across the block here. Yeah, hold on.
All right.
When Snow White finally hit theaters, it flopped hard. Despite heavy marketing, it bombed at the box office and drew mostly negative reviews. To make matters worse, it was outperformed by unexpected hits like the Minecraft movie, turning the failure into a pop culture punchline. Social media piled on, with users sharing clips of empty theaters and mocking the film's downfall. The hashtag "How Not to Market a Movie" took off, highlighting just how badly Disney misread the room. With the backlash in full swing, The Simpsons saw the perfect moment to strike with their signature satire.
It got destroyed at the box office. Here's the box office numbers. The Minecraft movie made $60 million on Saturday. Snow White made $2 million.
And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see her.
I am walking into Snow White, 2 p.m., now seating. Let's see how empty it is. I hope it's off the woke we go. I hope. Sound like I hear a couple of people. One, two. Okay. 2.
Enter Snowwoke, the reimagining, The Simpsons' razor-sharp take on the Snow White debacle. Airing as part of their regular season, the episode didn't just offer a few passing jokes. It dedicated a significant portion of its runtime to a full-fledged parody. The character, clearly modeled after Rachel Zegler, named Rachel Z, was portrayed as a caricature of perceived wokeness and self-importance. In The Simpsons' satirical lens, Rachel Z is depicted lecturing bewildered villagers on contemporary social issues.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. Super weird. So we didn't do that this time.
The producers, far left-wing activists in Hollywood, are turning on her, and Disney has canceled all of Rachel Zegler's appearances on their media platforms. Kind of tough.
People are like, oh wow, Snow White flopped. Who is surprised? You cast arguably the least genuine, most out of touch and disliked person in her industry, and her industry is Hollywood. And the bad guy is Gal Gadot.
Banning the prince character altogether as an outdated trope, and ultimately facing the stark reality of her film bombing in an empty Springfield multiplex, a direct and brutal parallel to the real-world box office figures.
Well, we all basically knew that Snow White was going to be a massive failure at the box office because of Rachel Zegler's controversial statement.
The episode culminates in a hilariously awkward and cringe-inducing meltdown by Rachel Z during an appearance on Krusty the Clown's talk show, further solidifying the negative caricature and amplifying the criticisms leveled against Zegler in the real world.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. Yeah. Weird.
The Simpsons parody was particularly potent due to the show's enduring cultural relevance and its reputation for biting social commentary. For decades, the residents of Springfield have served as a satirical mirror to American society, unafraid to tackle controversial topics and skewer public figures. By dedicating an entire segment to the Snow White controversy and specifically targeting Rachel Zegler's public persona and the film's perceived missteps, The Simpsons amplified the existing criticisms to a massive mainstream audience in a way that traditional news coverage and online debates simply couldn't match.
I just want to tell you guys about a little incredible movie that just came out, Snow White. Wow. I just got to tell you, best movie I've seen in years, and there have been some really good films lately. Madam Web, Rebel Moon Part 1, that movie, that transgender one with the Mexican drug lord. But Snow White blows them all away. Chat, this movie has everything. Horrifying, CGI, little people, check. A feminist princess who don't need no man, double check. Diddy dance party at the end, double Diddy check. All this to say, go see Snow White right now. The new one. Not that old stupid one where the princess gets saved by some good, upstanding guy.
The episode's humor, rooted in exaggeration and sharp observation, resonated with many who felt alienated by the new Snow White's direction. The Snowwoke episode quickly became a talking point, further cementing the negative perception of the film and its star in popular culture. Its impact was immediate and widespread, generating countless memes, social media discussions, and even news articles analyzing its significance.
Rachel Zegler just keeps making things worse with the Walt Disney Company. The more that she tries to defend this movie, the more that she tries to spew her agenda onto the general public, it's only making matters worse. Not just for Bob Iger, but for whatever is left of the image of Disney as a whole.
Behind the scenes, you guys know as well as I do that those executives like Spielberg are looking at that saying, Rachel Zegler can F right off. They've been in a full meltdown about this girl for a couple of years now, and how they had her tweet out like a little, yay, Snow White, can't wait, so excited, I love to play her. And she did it and got like millions of views, and they were like, good job, Rachel. And then she, like, minutes later followed it up with, and never forget, free Palestine.
And isn't her co-star Jewish?
Yes, Gal Gadot, whatever.
Gadot. I mean, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
They tried, they flew an executive, one of the producers, out to go visit personally with Rachel Zegler to say, could you please take that down? Because we understand you can have your political views, but those aren't really helpful while you're trying to build an audience for a movie. Maybe you could save them for like your diary and your friends, but like maybe not, maybe just take the tweet down. And she wouldn't.
That my name is Gal, and I'm Jewish. And we have had enough of Jew hatred.
Adding an unexpected and somewhat bizarre element to the unfolding saga was the perceived lack of chemistry between Rachel Zegler and her co-star, Gal Gadot, who portrayed the evil queen. During press events and awards shows leading up to the film's release, observers noted a distinct coolness and lack of interaction between the two lead actresses.
Please welcome Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot.
Visual effects push the boundaries of what we see on screen.
Their work makes the impossible seem possible.
With breathtaking ambition, they create magic that wraps its arms around our wildest imaginations.
Here are the nominees for Best Visual Effects.
This awkward dynamic fueled speculation about potential behind-the-scenes tensions. While the reasons for this perceived distance remain largely in the realm of rumor, some speculated that the controversies surrounding the film and perhaps differing viewpoints on its message might have contributed to a strained professional relationship. Regardless of the cause, this lack of apparent camaraderie did little to generate excitement for the film, and instead added to the growing sense that the production was plagued by issues.
Zegler would be a miscast in that sense. Instead, she gets her name from surviving a snowstorm.
That audiences walk away from this film with an understanding of the true meaning of fairness, of what it means to be fair in this world. There is a message that's been carried on for almost 90 years now from the original animated classic. That is, fairness is what is within. Fairness is to do with your heart, the way you treat the people around you, and it has nothing to do with what you look like, and that's the misunderstanding between Snow White and the evil queen. I think it's such an important message, and the way that Disney has elevated it and brought it to this new audience is very special.
The drama deepened when Disney replaced the seven dwarfs with vague, magical creatures to avoid stereotypes. The move, meant to be progressive, backfired. Actor Peter Dinklage criticized Disney for casting a Latina Snow White while still mishandling dwarf representation.
Of course, that goes back to the original controversy where Peter Dinklage, a very talented little person actor, said, why are we doing that? We've hired a Latina actress to be Snow White. That's progressive. But you're going to hire little people to play the dwarfs? That just seems like a step backwards. And then, of course, Disney instantly buckled and said, okay, we're going to add magical creatures.
Then they got even crazier and they decided that the dwarves in Snow White weren't woke enough, okay?
You're replacing jobs that people could have as little people. Okay. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, it's for dwarfs. You know?
Many advocates agreed, calling it erasure rather than progress. The change sparked debate. Was it avoiding harm or just avoiding the issue altogether? Either way, it showed how tricky updating classic stories can be without alienating audiences or communities.
Alex, what has been the reaction to Disney's latest expensive own goal?
Well, the reaction has been absolutely horrible. It is the worst
box office from a Disney live action remake that they've ever done.
I mean, they're projected to lose between 200 and 400 million on this.
Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie, and she acts like she's some sort of victim, and that's the sort of mentality that is just poisoning people's minds. Like, she acts like her life is so bad.
As the film's release neared, Snow White's new portrayal sparked more backlash. Instead of the classic kind-hearted princess, she was reimagined as a bold girl boss leader.
I truly do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion, but the reality is she's just not stable.
The movie is doing catastrophically. They spent $300 million, and it currently has a 2.2 out of 10 rating on IMDb.
This is just so typical of the left. The progressives always finding a way to find their way back to doing something not progressive.
While some praised the update, others felt it stripped away the fairy tale's charm. The hashtag Snowwoke took off, with critics accusing Disney of pushing a modern agenda at the expense of the story's magic. Debates erupted over whether traditional traits like kindness still mattered or were being replaced by forced empowerment.
The movie has a major identity crisis.
It's got extra musical numbers that are incredibly unnecessary that really add to that runtime, and let me go ahead and let you know that they're absolutely atrocious.
Disney deleted Someday My Prince Will Come and made a modernized feminist alternative.
In the aftermath of the box office catastrophe and the stinging satire of The Simpsons, Rachel Zegler largely retreated from the public eye. Her once active social media presence went silent, and scheduled promotional appearances were reportedly canceled. While the precise reasons for this withdrawal are undoubtedly complex,
I sat through the whole thing. This was really bad. It was extremely leftist on every political dimension: racial politics, sexual politics, class politics, regime politics. Its narrative was cowardly. It was just awful.
encompassing factors like the intense online harassment and the film's failure. The impact of The Simpsons' highly visible and cutting parody cannot be understated. Being the subject of a significant Simpsons segment, particularly in a negative light, carries a unique cultural weight and likely contributed significantly to the intense scrutiny and negative attention surrounding the actress, making a continued public presence increasingly challenging. The saga of Disney's Snow White reimagining, culminating in The Simpsons' pointed Snowwoke parody, serves as a compelling and cautionary tale for the modern entertainment industry. It underscores the delicate and often fraught relationship between creative interpretation and audience expectation, the immense power of social commentary in shaping public opinion, and the potentially significant consequences of misjudging the cultural zeitgeist when adapting beloved and iconic stories. The yellow-skinned satire didn't just reflect the existing controversy. It arguably became a pivotal moment in its narrative, leaving a lasting and perhaps indelible mark on how this particular fairy tale reimagining and the journey of its lead actress will be remembered. What are your thoughts on The Simpsons' portrayal of the Snow White controversy? Did their satire hit the mark, or did it go too far? Share your opinions and reactions in the comments below. And if you want to stay informed on the latest deep dives into pop culture moments and entertainment news, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on those notifications.